Hi everyone, Marcus here from uTu with a quick perspective on, in context of the bot, what are the listeners as we define them, and the code base associated with this. We'll kind of focus on Alexa specifically as this Hello World first version. But when we're talking about listeners, what are some of the objectives here? Is kind of explain in context of kind of web technologies what they are. Kind of looking at the conversant space and how important it is to think about being able to connect to a lot of different places, and to think about, ultimately the goal of reaching your customers. So again, in context of the anatomy of the bot, the AI, the NLP, underpinned by the conversational UI, the listeners are the piece that connect to the outside world. Why this is so important when thinking about building and deploying your bot. Conversant is promiscuous, bold words, but what that means is that there's lots of options for where your users can potentially engage with your bot. And while some of the different vendors, some of the people building these channels would prefer for you to focus solely on them, the reality is you have the opportunity to engage at any point. And looking at the relative expense of designing your UI, building out the AI and the NLP, the more reach you can get out of that, the better. So here, we go back to the reference to the movie Lucy, where she becomes melded in with the infrastructure technology. Ultimately, she can extend her personality to any touch point. That's a metaphor for your bot about thinking about, once you've built, you want to connect it up to the grid to all the potential places that you can. And in terms of being a listener, so what does this mean? Scanning the skies for kind of areas of possibility of where and how can it connect to you. I think this is kind of a visual when you think about building your bot. Pointing at different points. Whether that be out to parts of the universe. There could be the Alexa part, the Facebook part, but the idea is when you set up these listeners to receive the signals, that's when you can start to engage. All right, so again, kind of a quick metaphor in terms of the listeners and the roles that they play. We'll drill more into this in the code example. For more resources, news, everything's bots, come check out the community at betterbots.utu.ai. And come learn more about our platform directly at uTu.ai. Thanks.